Let's get started. I'm still doing a couple things in the background, but hopefully we have this working here. And let me check. So wait, I'm just checking some stuff in the background, but we should be all right. We're absolutely firing on all cylinders. Good to go. So I'm super happy about that one. So we're gonna do some epic stuff today. So I kind of want to spend, because people ask for this, people find it cool. I mean, we do slightly technical stuff on our streams just to show that we know what we're doing, among other things. But I mean, it's fun for us to show what's happening inside, sort of under the hood to a degree. So I'm going to show you a couple things. Just in terms of the stuff that we learned. So today, we're just going to play around with Comput K2. There's a couple reasons for it, but mostly that I'm not so sure. I haven't tested what's called the chat templates. So essentially, if you want to be able to use, I mean, let me take a step back. Let's start with this. Guys, we got Claude code running on our B200s. Is that the biggest news you've heard? That's the biggest news we've heard. So that is absolutely massive because, you know, essentially what's powering all the development for teams like ours. I mean, like before, so I'll give you another story. I mean, I used to have 10 engineers that I would basically manage and doing all this kind of work. We have a much smaller team now, just a couple of guys. And it's really because everyone, if you're good at coding, you know what you're doing. You're working with essentially, like, you're using coding agents and all this kind of stuff. And it's your core competency. You can do all of it. You can basically do as much work as a team used to do. So it's pretty epic. It's not just the case for us. That's like the gigantic thing that's going away. Like, people ask me, should you become, you know, like, I'm at the playground with my son, and then people will be like, oh, should our kid learn computer science and programming? And it's like, do they know what's gonna happen? Do they know what's gonna happen? So I mean, I do think that a lot of companies are realizing that essentially somebody with a LLM, somebody who's super productive, is so productive that they can find just a handful of people that are super productive, and they can do the work of an entire team. And so it's not like, yes, everyone can benefit from an LLM, but essentially, if you have somebody who's super competent in what they're doing, they can replace the team. Because if they're micromanaging the team, that's costing them a lot of time, and they're basically having the exact same conversation, like, why don't you build a Docker container using these libraries, using this architecture, do the Python code like this, do the Golang code like this. This needs to be real time and threaded, so use Go there, use Python here, etc. I mean, the LLMs are getting so close that you can basically have that conversation with an LLM, and as like a senior team manager, team lead, whatever you want to call it, you can get very good results. I won't say there aren't advantages of having people. I'm saying it gives the opportunity for people to do things that normally a team would have to do with far fewer people. So that's the mind-blowing thing. So if you're, I mean, we're very much on that train. If you want to be on that train, you're gonna love the stream, because essentially that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be talking about, I mean, we're gonna be showing what the current state is, and basically what ended up happening is now we have coding models that, so it used to be that you had, I mean, so initially, like, the history was ChatGPT came out. I used ChatGPT from the very start. As soon as people started writing code with it, I was like, oh my God, let me try to write code with it. So I was basically vibe coding with ChatGPT before vibe coding had a name. I mean, I was vibe coding with ChatGPT in, what was it, 2023? I mean, when ChatGPT came out, ended 2022. 2023, I was already trying out some vibe coding stuff, doing the coding. It has to do with the fact that I have an experience of having 10 guys working for me and all the micromanagement that has to happen. And it's, again, like I described it, it's very similar. I mean, like, at least my management, my software dev team management skills has translated pretty well into the LLM world, and it doesn't feel all that different. I mean, like, dealing with a LLM, I can do a lot of things that I would do in managing my team, except I don't have to hop on a Google Meet with them and then explain to them why they should do a certain thing a certain way. Put it in the LLM cranks it out. So the LLMs have gotten so close, so freaking close. Like, this has never been the case. So when ChatGPT came out in 2023, you could write some code with it. Was that usable code? No, like, it was very, very far away. So I think I commented about this a little bit on the previous stream, but I'll comment on it again. So I mean, first thing that I did with sort of my security engineering background, all that kind of stuff, I looked at what kind of code quality does it produce. I was pleasantly surprised that the Python code is actually, like, decent. Okay, so I don't want to say that for every other language. Like, for example, for writing front-end JavaScript code, I mean, there's, like, it just keeps adding classes and stuff like this. I mean, we can have an entire discussion about what LLMs and coding LLMs do well and do poorly, but Python code's pretty good. I will tell you that. I mean, stuff that it also does really well that I've basically, once the tool use came out, that I use a lot is, for example, not forgetting to copy a file to a remote server. So that's, like, a thing. So you do the development locally, then you say, oh, I actually have this development machine that I can log in over SSH. Why don't you copy all the files over there? And then I'll SSH in myself and run it, and then it does it. But, like, a typical thing where you would shoot yourself in the foot is you would sit there for 30 minutes debugging something and then realize you forgot to, like, rsync or SCP the latest code to run it on the dev machine, which is, I mean, I mention it because once you get into doing the AI stuff, I mean, as much as I love my 3090 that's powering today's stream, which I'm tapping on over here, as much as I love my 3090, it is not a B200, okay? So sometimes you just gotta run somewhere where you have access to a gigantic GPU and do all the testing there, and that's very commonly what we find ourselves having to do. So the gap between coding models that you would have to pay for. So, I mean, let's go through the history one more time. So, like, end of 2023, I won't go into the details, but I did a project already using ChatGPT. It wasn't great, but it was to the point where if I sat there, it was like a JavaScript front end stuff, and if I sat there and I had to code this thing by hand, I would have, like, never built it. And then I actually did it, right? So I mean, that was already impressive to me. It wasn't like, I'm not going to go into the details, it wasn't the world's most complex project. It was basically like styling and taking a bunch of open source and stuff like that and getting it up and running. By the way, Discord can let me know if anything goes down. I mean, we've been having issues where X just drops the stream for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. So I'll try to keep it under an hour and then we should be good. So it's been crashing around 50 minutes last couple times. We're 12 minutes in, guys. 12 minutes in. So like, when I built those projects, the cool thing was, I mean, it was already pretty useful. So the cool thing is you can start building projects in essentially languages you're not super familiar with, or that you don't write day to day, and you don't have to read a ton of documentation. And then sometimes you can take the documentation, paste it into the chat window and do that. This is like pre-Claude everything else, right? So that was the thing. So then eventually what ended up happening, I mean, for a lot of stuff, so I would use initially, I mean, just like everyone else, I was using for coding, you would use the chat window, you'd use Claude and ChatGPT, and when you run out of ChatGPT tokens, you'd switch to Claude, and when you run out of Claude tokens, you'd switch to ChatGPT. I mean, I think everyone did that for a while. Then essentially I was getting into the AI self-hosting stuff that we're doing now. So I was actually spinning up these machines. I actually switched to running, like when I'd run out of tokens, I would use Anthropic's API, and I would use an Open Web UI, which I would run locally, connect it to Anthropic's API, install. There's a really good Anthropic Claude function for Open Web UI, where you just paste your API key and then it works great. So I was using that for the longest time. I mean, literally when we were starting all the compute stuff, I was still using that because Claude Code wasn't that like advanced as it is now. Yeah, so we were, I mean, I was using that. And why I mention all this is a typical thing that you can have. I have had multiple times, multiple as in many, right? Many times I've had where I'm doing something in Claude and I'm spending $100 or more a day in terms of tokens. So if I'm writing super complex code where I basically need to give it the entire documentation for this thing, and this is on Claude Sonnet 3 or whatever, or even maybe 2, and the context window is smaller and all this kind of stuff, you're just constantly running out of context, and then you're pasting it again, paying for a bunch of tokens, and then running it again, and then pasting it again, and then running out of context, and then starting a new context window and all that kind of stuff. And it just gets absolutely crazy. So fortunately, I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, Cursor. So I did, honestly, I mean, like me personally, as in me, I prefer Claude Code over Cursor. It has to do with the fact that I actually want to see the code like appear on the screen as it's being written. And so Cursor kind of, in my opinion, I know you can set it up like a ton of ways. I don't find for me, IMHO, the workflow in Cursor, I don't like as much, because I'm basically sitting here like a hawk and watching my screen, and then as soon as I see the like Claude do something stupid, I'm escape. I'm clicking escape. I'm clicking escape, and I'm like, no, do it a different way and stuff like that. And so that's sort of my workflow. Not that I mean, guys, I'm telling you, it's not that dissimilar from I mean, I couldn't press escape on humans, but I mean, it was very similar with my engineers, where I would watch them work and I would see the code that they're committing, and I'm like, stop, roll it back. We gotta go back. Did you commit everything to Git so that we can go back a couple commits? Oh, okay, perfect. Let's do that and then do it like this. So I mean, same with Claude, same kind of stuff. So then Claude Code came out, which was, I mean, so Cursor has been out for a really long time. A lot of people use Cursor, swear by Cursor. Honestly, Cursor's probably a better experience than what I was doing with pasting in the chat window. I mean, I know people are gonna have a hard time believing that Dimitri was pasting code into the chat window until the end of 2023. Like, after Cursor had already been out forever, I was still pasting into the window just because I knew what was up. So then Cursor came out, Claude Code came out, and that one was the one where I was like, all right, this is my interface. This is the one that I swear by. I mean, like, this is the one that clicked for me. Moreover, they pre-announced it and just using Comput. So because people call me out on this, or people call us out on the chat, like, what did you do, or how far did you get? So I spent essentially, like, I mean, let's call it like a long Dimitri weekend, which is basically a working week for normal people. So I actually spent a weekend writing a coding agent similar to Claude, and TLDR, I mean, it worked. Like, after the weekend, it was already somewhat working. What I came to realize was just that I mean, then people started digging at Claude Code more and more, and it was clear that Anthropic was basically probably not gonna close source this like crazy, even though it is closed source, even though it is on Node, which is super weird. But I mean, like, it's not crazy. I mean, like, they still let you tweak stuff, which is how how we can overload a bunch of stuff and essentially use the binary. Today is what we're gonna be doing. But all that kind of stuff, I was doing, I mean, like, you can run this stuff. And so I was using on Comput, because we had Comput by then. I was using DeepSeek for reasoning. I was using Quencoder for writing the coding models, and it worked. It wasn't, I mean, it was like a V00001. I mean, it was like a proof concept. It absolutely worked. It wrote code. I was like blown away that it was launching GPUs on Comput and doing all that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So the thing was, Quencoder is Quencoder 2.5 at that time. Last summer, Quencoder 2.5. I'm trying to think, when was it? It wasn't even last summer. Jesus, everything moves so fast. This was like 4 months ago. I was doing this. So 4 months ago, Quencoder 2.5 was the best open source model that you could get for coding, and I mean, which is not a terrible model. It was good for its time, but Claude 3, Sonnet, Claude 4, Chat GPT 0103, all that stuff came out, and they're just significantly better. So the open source models, I'm telling you the story, the open source models were very far behind in terms of coding. They were very far behind. I mean, to the point where I would not even consider trying to run one of these models on our backend, or essentially on one of our machines. It just wouldn't make sense. Okay. So instead, what you would do is, instead I used Claude Code. So again, now for the longest time, Claude Code was API based. So you just paste your Anthropic API key. And again, I was spending $40, $50, $60, $100 some days on Claude Code. Days. I emphasize days. Some days you would spend that much money, which I mean is fine if you're trying to ship a product, but it's a little bit ridiculous if you're trying to use it day in and day out. It's a bit much. So fortunately, Claude eventually launched. So this brings me. You guys are gonna see how this all comes back. Fortunately, in the end, like Cursor launched their subscriptions, Claude copied them and launched their subscriptions. So now you can get Claude Code Max for like $100 a month. And basically it's, I mean, I've hit the limits before. And the annoying thing is that it downgrades itself all the time. I mean, so it doesn't really use Opus all that much. It's usually downgrading itself to Sonnet and stuff like that. And sometimes I haven't seen it drop down a Haiku. I don't know if it does it, but like, that is also part of it. It's not transparent how Claude Code offers this product. I just know that they have a subscription and I'm not paying for API access. And in total, I'm paying $100 a month and it's mostly working. But it leaves a lot of room for improvement because this is still a black box. They don't open source the Claude code. We are going to be using the black box today. We can still overload the parameters and get it up and running. However, it is a little bit limited overall. I mean, like there's room for the open source coding agents to come out. There is a bunch of them. There's RuCode, Klein, Open Code. I mean, there's a ton of them. But for me, the most exciting thing is that right now, the best agent, the one that has the most documentation, people describing how to do MCP integrations and all that stuff for, aka Claude Code. You can run Claude Code on a different API if you overload it correctly. So that's what I'm going to be showing today. So what we have is we have essentially a B200 instance. So a DGX as it's called. So a single machine with 8 B200s running, and we're going to be connecting to that machine. We're going to be querying on it. And we are going to see, the results. I mean, we're going to see how Claude Code behaves and all that kind of stuff. All right. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. And the model that we're going to run is going to be Kimi K2. So I will say, I've been like literally today, yesterday, probably the day before, I've been playing around with different optimizations. I've gotten it already to go from unbearably slow to usable. There's a bunch more optimizations that shout out to people. A couple people in the chat had don't know if they want to be mentioned by name, but fist bumps to all the people that answered my questions about some stuff. Give me a couple hints on formats and stuff like that. Right now, like full disclosure, the one that we're going to run is going to be the Kimi K2 Q8, the 8-bit quantization model in memory. However, the thing is, and the reason for that is we have enough essentially VRAM then for a decent cache, essentially for the full cache, which means that we can use the model to its fullest because it has the full context. That fits on a B200. The issue, the thing is, I've already found that there's like further optimizations that I can do. And there's a really important component, which is which I need to test on Quencoder. So we were originally going to do Quencoder as well. There is a chat template, and it's basically, I mean, it's like the way that it works is it's a Jinja file that you provide the model, but essentially what it's doing is it's like a map of how to do the tool calls. And so there's actually one that Kimi K2 provided, which is you can get on Hugging Face and all that kind of stuff. With Quencoder, I haven't really seen it, so I'm not 100% confident the tool calls are going to be super efficient, like that they'll match. But in classic, let me say Chinese fashion, when they had to pick what to be compatible with, it looks like all these models are basically just re-implementing Anthropic's Claude, which is, I mean, for the short term, that's exactly what you want. For like, you know, just basing it off of YOLOing it off of the market leader standard. It's I mean, it's a ethical kind of thing. I'll let you decide. But yeah, anyway, so those two models are out. So Quencoder is going to run on H200s, B200s. Kimi K2, pretty sure only B200s. The thing is, we should now, I'm of the opinion that we can run the full blown model on the B200s for Kimi K2, and we can run obviously the full blown Quencoder and the full blown I mean, on B200s and H200s. Quencoder is a smaller model. It's only 408 billion parameters because it's based on Qwen 3, and then Kimi is actually a 1 tera parameter model, and it's based on so that is based on what is it based on? It's based on no, I mean, it's Kimi. It's a separate company, so it's their own flagship model. So the only thing is, I mean, last thing I'll say about that is the caveat is Qwen does not fit in memory. If you give it, I mean, I've gotten it to fit with like a 512 context. I'm not that bullish on the 1 meg context that you technically have in Qwen, but 512 is already pretty good. Because I mean, I didn't know that. I don't know how true this is. I googled it. I think Claude is actually still on 200k context, and then Opus is I think Claude. So as far as I know, Sonnet is definitely 200k. I think Opus might be up to 1m, but they do in a bunch of shenanigans, and which gets me to kind of the final point that I'll say. I know this is getting kind of long, the explanation of all this stuff. There, as soon as you start touching this stuff and analyzing it and seeing what's under the hood, it turns out there is an absolute ton of optimizations that these guys do. So essentially, for example, you fire up Claude Code, by default, it sets the model to auto. So what does that mean? It means that most likely Anthropic, via their API, you're not talking to Opus to say, when you send it hello, it's not sending the response from Opus. It's smart enough to either cache it or get it from somewhere else, or use like a lighter weight model, etc. So it's a little bit I mean, there's a lot of engineering that you can do on the API, and so that's kind of that leads into the post that we had this week on X. And the post that we had this week on X was talking about how I mean, we're going to be revamping our API basically. And the reason that we want to revamp the API is to be able to take advantage of all this stuff. I mean, we're going to be able to do stuff. So for example, we did a stream together with Eliza. People had questions about embedding models. Do we currently host an API for embedding models? We do not. Should we be hosting an API for embedding models? Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's pretty straightforward to add embeddings as well. So we're going to be hosting a couple embedding endpoints and stuff like that. So we kind of want to revamp and really make it where the API is like full stop image generation, video generation, all this kind of stuff, coding models, and eventually, hopefully, we'll get to we'll do the engineering on the API where we can have like an auto mode that will pick the model that'll work the best. So for example, if you're using Claude Code, you're just LSing a directory. You don't need Kimi to process you having ls the directory necessarily. You could use a much smaller model, so something like that. I mean, so basically optimizing different tasks, different models for different tasks and stuff like that. I do want to show you guys so really quickly, I'll show you guys a couple things. So wait, unslaw. So yeah, let's take a look. So I'll show you guys a couple things. So hugging face. I'm gonna switch over here in a second. Kimmy. All right. Okay. Anyway, I'll start here, but then we'll kind of switch over. So so specifically we're gonna run the Unsloth GGUF because they actually took the models and made them smaller, so they have a Q8 over here. So that's specifically the model that we're running. I mean, turns out anyway, there's like a ton of learnings that are gonna completely like blow up the complexity of this stream if I go over all the insights that I've learned in the last couple weeks about running models this big. But suffice it to say, we should be able to actually run essentially the BF16, which is the uncompressed models, not at least the model files. Because I mean, yeah, I forgot, did they even link to the, I don't remember if they linked to the upstream, but basically, I mean, this is 100% going to be representative of what you can expect. I mean, so Unsloth packages everything that you can run it with Llama CPP because they use the GGUF model format. So it makes it easy to run this and Quencoder because they're both GGUF. So that's what we're going to be doing, at least initially. More likely than not, for actually running the models, we're going to mix it up and use different quantization, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's gonna change how we I mean, so basically when we run it on the host, we're gonna do some tricks to make the full-blown models fit, and that looks I'm pretty confident at the moment. I'm not like making an absolute promise that it's gonna be the case, but eventually we should be able to not run the full-blown models and not the quantized ones. I just did it I did the quantized ones just because I'm slightly more familiar with them from having run them on actually locally on our GPUs and stuff like that, or on like my GPU and stuff like that. So other thing that I want to show you guys, if you want to see sort of the production, I'll show you guys really quickly. We have this right here. So we have a so we have where is it? Let's see. I could recommend you guys check out this this project as well that we released, which is C3 Llama CPP. And basically what this is it's a Docker Compose / Docker that wraps. So what it adds is it's using this right here, this download pie, and this download pie is using the Hugging Face hub snapshot download, which is significantly faster. So if you use the standard downloaders that are usually built into the scripts, or you use like wget or something like that, you're going to be downloading forever. So this thing is able, we have like I'm trying to think, we probably have like a 100 gig like downlink on the machine that we're connecting to, and it's actually saturating. I mean, it's getting pretty close to saturating the link, the speed that it's downloading some of these models at. I mean, at least 10-20 gigabits it's definitely doing. So if you just run the standard models, they're not able to saturate the link. They're not very efficient. So this is like pro tip. Check this out. This is like a Python script that will download stuff from Hugging Face for you that we wrote, but this script itself just gets embedded in this Docker container. So if you boot this Docker container, it basically searches like, is the model already downloaded? If it's not, then let me download it. And then if it downloads it, then it downloads significantly faster. So that's like a key component that we have running there. So really quickly, let's do just to show you guys. So wait, let me do this really quickly. I'll go back to me. I'll do one thing really quickly, and we'll play around with it. So wait, see. Let me do one more thing, and then we can get started. Just showing you guys stuff. All right, so let's see. I can't remember if this is gonna work or not, so we'll take a look. Yeah, I think it will work. All right, so we play around with this as well. So this is, so really quickly, let's switch over. Let's go to PC. All All right, so I'm in. So this is a web interface connected to this instance. It's running a Kimi K2 Q8 quantization. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the full-blown models up and running. We're just testing everything. I mean, guys, there's not a lot of documentation for these models that came out 1 or 2 weeks ago. There's not like there's not guides on how to run this on your B200s. You kind of have to know a little bit about computers to get it up and running. So let's do yo, what's up, or something like that. Let's just see the model responding. So you can see it's actually pretty big. And in terms of like coding tasks, let's just tell it like write me a Python script to get the current Solana price because I want to stake calm. Boom. Obviously, that's what we tell it. So here we go. It's actually generating. I mean, you can see it's like for the size of this model, this is like hella fast. I mean, this is like I don't have like a good way without SSHing in to pull up the utilization, because we don't have this integrated into our UI yet for me to kind of show off. But essentially, this is this is super fast for the scale model that we're running. I mean, this is ChatGPT, Claude fast, and this is actually running, and we're getting results back and all that kind of stuff. So super awesome. So the cool thing is, what you can actually do is so we'll try with Claude code in a second. I do want to check because I did see a notification or two. I'm just checking if there's anything super important. No, I think we're good. So the thing is, what we're gonna do next is let's actually try it with Claude code. So if I'm like, some of it is some of it I'll show you guys really quickly. So some of it like, guys, go ahead and if you have B200s, go ahead and do exactly what I'm explaining right now. So I know the barrier to entry is a little bit higher to get all this stuff up and running, but I'm not like here to hide it from you. Like this is literally what you should do. So the one issue that you actually have with Anthropic is essentially that they have they don't use the V1 API. However, Light LLM, and there's a couple other projects that implement it, they actually have implemented the handling where they essentially reroute. So what am I running? I'm running a Llama, which runs a standard OpenAI compatible API. Anthropic uses a slightly different API on their backend. And so what happens, you need a proxy, for example, Light LLM, that actually takes it and converts one format to the other format and forwards it correctly. So turns out that's already built in. Kimi actually released one themselves that they wrote from scratch, which was also pretty epic. I mean, they like I'm like golf clap that they're open sourcing all this. The thing is, independent of us getting this model up and running, we were in the middle of migrating compute to use Light LLM for a bunch of stuff. And so this was like no brainer. We're going to use Light LLM. If Light LLM even handles this task for us of being able to expose the APIs in a Anthropic compatible way, obviously we're going to use Light LLM. So just FYI, I'm running Light LLM. It's running on localhost 4000. And then essentially over here, what I did is I exported. So there's I don't remember if you can skip this or not, but Light LLM tries to get you to set a API key basically. So I set like an arbitrary API key. And then the other thing that I'm doing is I'm telling it to, where is it? I'm telling it to use the base URL 4000. So we're going to be hosting API Comput3.AI. This is the stuff that we're going to be integrating. Once this is like permanent infrastructure, you'll be able to go to API Comput3.AI. You won't need to run this locally. We'll be running this sort of proxy for you. It's all going to work. It's all going to work. And guaranteed that it's going to work is if this demo works, then it's going to work there. So let's create let's do like my awesome web page or something like that. Let's go to my awesome web page. And then here I'm going to do Claude. Boom. I'm going to tell it to work here. I'm going to say yes, proceed. And you can see API base URL is this. So it's sussing. It's sussing. We can actually check over here. We should see, I mean, you can see it's doing the, so this is kind of the issue. It's doing, this is the thing that needs to get rerouted. Basically the V1 messages is like the magic, but it should eventually, I mean, I did just test this. It should eventually come up and we should have access to it. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time to like load up. Yeah, but we're in. So in this case, I mean, because we are overloading it with another LM, it just returned, period. So, I mean, here we can do, hey, how's it going? Just the same, just like you would in Claude Code. And so we can see here's the tokens. I'm doing well, ready to help. So I want to emphasize, guys, this is running on this machine. So actually, I mean, for the purposes of us seeing it slightly cooler, let me do, I'll do one more thing for the demo-ness, for the demo to be slightly even more improved over what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to do something mystical and magical off screen really quickly just to show you guys. So let's do this. So I'm going to SSH in so that we can actually see the load go up. It'll be a little bit more informative. So let's see. All right. Yeah, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is yeah, all right, gotta switch back. You guys haven't seen this. So there's actually a top for NVIDIA GPUs. There's actually a top to run NVIDIA GPUs. And yeah, so we can see the memory usage, we can see the load. So memory usage, essentially, where does it say? It should say like can't remember. Does it say? I mean, there's so many devices. Oh yeah, over here. So basically it's showing us like Topwood. So we're using 160 gigs out of 179 on these machines right now for this Claude Code NES. Let me check really quickly if I can, because might be a little bit nicer if I can do this? Gonna let me wait. I'm trying to get stuff over here. Is it gonna let me draw? Can I move it? Yes. All right, perfect. Are we back in business? All right, let's try it. So let's say I need a Vite React project with a 1990s style website, use basic animations and blinking effects, insert some cool 90s style stuff. I'll run, I mean, yeah, let's just give it a shot. So it's in its own directory. Let's give it a shot. Let's go back over here. So it's unfurling. There we go. Tokens have left the machine. All right, so you can see this is like the first bit of insight. I mean, we are loading up all the cores. I mean, we can see that right here. So we can see one of the responses came back. So now it's doing a list. It's already updating the to-dos. It's not, I mean, so for people who are asking themselves, like, how many of these could we run? I suspect we could run a couple. I mean, like we should be able to run a couple queries simultaneously. I mean, the GPUs are not getting loaded up. I mean, if they were 100%, it would be all the way to the top. So it is not getting loaded up 100%. We still have a lot of room. So in terms of B200 performance, we still have a lot of room to go. We can actually play around with this and let people. Oh, so right now it's waiting, obviously. So let's do yes. So it's going to do npm create. So let's see what we get. I mean, it's kind of hilarious to use like a framework designed in 2025 to build a 1990s website, but I'll let it slide. We should have maybe done. I mean, anyway, I'm already impressed. It's using npx. I mean, it's doing all the good things. We got to check that it's not getting stuck, but it's doing stuff. I'm actually curious. I mean, we should go in that and see what it did. I forgot, what did I call it? My awesome. So let's go into there. Clear ls 90s site ls. All right, I mean, it's doing stuff. All right, next one. So anyway, I mean, the point, like, the stuff that immediately hit me is basically you have to think about it as it's as if we're using Opus. So if you've actually used Opus the entire time with Claude actually gets slower, which is why they recommend leaving it set to auto. So I'm actually immediately, me as an engineer, I'm immediately curious how we can actually go and optimize this and have it I mean, essentially have a like a model that is smart enough to know this I should like execute myself, this I should forward over there and do all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, I mean, right now it's freaking doing a npm install. It's not even waiting on us. It's just waiting on freaking Node to grab all those packages. So there we go. 33 packages are looking for funding. So now it's got a bunch of tokens, add 90 style components and all this stuff. So guys, I'm telling you, this was running. I got it up and running this week. It was extremely slow, as in like, I mean, it was like unbearably slow when we got it up and running at first. Now it's already 100% usable, like 100% usable. The thing is, I have like a list of 20 performance improvements that I've already gotten from people, from other people in the know that run large models. And yeah, I'm super looking forward to trying those out, because I have a feeling that we can get this running even faster than it is right now. But I mean, it's already pretty good, but I have a feeling we can accelerate the performance even further. And keep in mind, these are the fastest GPUs in the world right now that you can get. These are the B200s. There's nothing faster than them. I mean, I like how, I mean, we said 90 style, but it's using emojis. I mean, you can't win them all. That's just what's happening with this model. So yeah. Anyway, I want to see that this runs. I mean, and I want to see how productive it is, and we'll check it out on the web browser as well here in a second. All right, let me check while it's tokenizing. Let me check the chat really quickly. Let me put this off to the side, and then we'll bring it back as necessary. All right, here, just so you guys can watch, I have to click yes over here. I am gonna pull up. I'm gonna check if anyone's what's up on Twitter. Maybe we got some app mentions or something like that. No, looks like just people sharing that the stream is live. We're still writing some code over here. It seems like it's doing an awful lot of JavaScript for a 90 style website. I think it didn't get the message about when all these technologies came out. Yeah, perfect. Just, I mean, yeah, so good already getting the retweets. So yeah, so for us, I mean, we're definitely going to work. One thing that I did see, I mean, we're going to work on the API. The API is going to let us run the API is going to let us essentially offset some of the hosting costs in fiat, which if you're a Web3 project is actually super useful. So if you're interested in this, if you want to support we'll have subscription tiers as well. It's going to go to hosting for the most part. I mean, we're more interested in you got to pay fiat. These hosting guys want fiat. I mean, they're not Web3 yet, but that's how we roll. So we're going to have to, we're going to pay for it that way. But the cool thing is so it's going to let us have people that aren't using Phantom wallets on Solana, people that are using Phantom wallets. We're going to be able to do EVM. We're going to be able to expand and basically have a much larger audience for all the stuff that we're going to be doing. And that's going to be super epic. So I'm super excited that we're going to go forward with the API and kind of the revamp. And I think that's going to be like the biggest thing that we have in the next couple of weeks. And then hopefully we'll have announcements about all the other stuff that we're working on, which include training and validators and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to hear about those, make sure you join our Discord from our page. So yeah. All right, let's keep going. So I mean, I will tell you the Kimi. I mean, so I've found it like the one-shot pieces of code that I've gotten from Kimi have been really good and very thorough. And I find it that I don't know if it's like I don't know what the reason is, but I found it that Anthropic nowadays I have to, so for example, if I open up a project and I tell Anthropic that I needed to add a feature, I need to tell it, read the README, and it's like, okay, I read the README, let me implement, and it's like, no, don't implement anything yet. Now go and read this piece of code, this piece of code, this piece of code, and then I have to give it an exact plan. So I found it that Anthropic has gotten to the point where at least like agentically, it's kind of it's missing. Here, wait, let's switch to this. Where's the baller view? It's over here. Let's switch to this one. You can see the GPUs get loaded up. It's not, I mean, obviously you can see it's like it's processing like little things right here. So it's probably like sending like one small element at a time. I mean, we don't see what the query is, but it's not actually loading up the GPUs right now. So that's by the way, a good point. I mean, look at this right here. It was sending tokens for the entire time using 10 or 20% of one GPU, not of all the GPUs and stuff like that. And we can see, I think it's finished. Yeah, it is. Or I mean, it wants to output the file. But basically, I mean, everything, you can run a bunch of these. So it's very rare that so like right here, it had a spike, but I mean, for the most part, most of the time, it's not consuming a lot of infrastructure or like a lot of the stuff. So you could actually run a lot more agents. I mean, to get like saturation on this machine, I mean, we could easily run, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't know, simultaneous users. And the cool thing with us and the way that we do everything is we, and the reason that we also want to build the API is if we have the API up and running, we can see that the machine's getting hit too hard. Let us add a machine for a couple hours, because that's the kind of tech that we're building, where it's completely flexible. I mean, we can spin up and tear down infrastructure. So if the server's overloaded, boom, add another one. If the server's overloaded again, boom, add another one. Maybe run certain models on H200s, then we see H200's too slow, boom, add a B200, or B200's underutilized, boom, downgrade to an H200, stuff like that. So that is going to be way easier once we have the API out for us to be able to offer that kind of stuff and basically have a better experience. And in the meantime, how did I know that it finished? Because the GPU usage went to 0. So we're good. It has the 90s site. So let's actually go into here. I'll make this bigly. Let's do npm run dev. All right, perfect. And then let's see the result. We'll do localhost. I'm bringing the window over here in a second. Hopefully, oh man, it's pretty good. It needs work, guys. It needs work, but it is already pretty entertaining. So I mean, it did. I pigeonholed it by telling it to do an invite react, so it's doing way too many CSS animations here. I mean, the animations are a little bit too modern, but I mean, best viewed. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you try to view this with Netscape, this would not load right now. But it is pretty good with the blinking. I mean, I have to say, I'm happy with that result and the visitor count and all that stuff. So I mean, that's not bad. I mean, but like obviously you'd want a modern website. You would want to tell it to like put this all in a container or a div. I do like these blinking red buttons that are like hopping around the screen and stuff like that. I mean, that's also a nice touch. I mean, this looks way too epic for a 90s website, but I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, it is pretty good. Cool, dude. Oh man, say something. Pretty good guest book. The site rocks. Oh man, these are pretty good. Let's see if it works. Let's do NetOS. Let's say, yo, this compute. Oh yeah, it actually implements it. I wonder where it's storing it. It's probably in browser storage, but nevertheless, browser storage slash. I mean, but this actually worked. Signed the guest book worked. So anyway, that one I think was pretty pretty good result. Pretty good one shot from Kimi K2. All right, let me go full screen. Let me check if there's any questions, and then we'll. I don't want to go too long on this, because we're getting close to where X dies on every single stream. Let me check if X is still up. It does look like it's still up, but I mean, freaking X, it conked out every time at like 55 minutes. So let me kind of summarize. So epic thing is we got B200s, otherwise this would not be possible. Like full stop. We need the biggest GPUs to run these models. Fortunately, they're available. Fortunately, they're available for us. Ironically, we're getting these access to these, but the authors of the model, I mean, if you consider that they're Chinese companies, they don't have access to the GPUs that we have access to. The only, I mean, I've yet to see a web. I mean, I'll stand corrected. I've yet to see a Web3 project run B200s. All right. Anyway, we'll end it. We'll end it here anyway soon. But actually a good suggestion to run parallel agents on the live stream. So I didn't run parallel agents, but we should have done it. That's not a bad suggestion from the chat. So let's do. Let me kind of summarize. So we got B200s. No one else. I mean, no one else in Web3, as far as I know, has them running. I'll stand corrected, but I've yet to see anyone announce B200s except for us. B200s are big enough where we can run on a single, because these models, the Kimi was designed to run on 2 H200 servers. So we can run it on one B200 server, because that's how powerful B200s are. So we cannot run it on one H200 server. It will not fit. Quencoder is a little bit smaller. Quencoder is going to work on an H200 and a B200. We're going to play around with that. The reason that we didn't do Quencoder today, I have a feeling, I have a suspicion that the tool calls aren't as good as they are with Kimi, because Kimi provides an official, like I said, Jinja, an official chat template for you to be able to do the tool calls. So I expect the Claude support to be better with Kimi than I do with Quencoder. But the gigantic advantage of Quencoder is that it hypothetically has a 1 meg token context. And that is huge. I mean, huge literally, and huge in terms of advantageous, because at that point, you can just paste every document you can think of in. I mean, just keep in mind that you're using like Claude Opus and Claude Sonnet with like 200K tokens right now. And now multiply that by 5. And that basically means that this thing never compacts, right? I mean, it just never compacts. It has so much context that it never compacts. And so it's a question of, does it do a good job with that, etc.? We'll have to see. But I'm really bullish on both models. So we'll have to see how we do it, how we do them. I'm leading, just to give you guys an idea, give us feedback on this. I mean, for the staking tiers, etc. If you get stake com, you're going to get access to these models. We'll basically treat you as a premium subscription. I think we're going to be selling premium subscriptions. It's going to be a price probably between $50 and $100 a month. But the advantage is you'll get access to Quen, and you'll get access to I mean, hopefully we'll be able to provide Quen and Kimi. Hope, fingers crossed. That doesn't mean that we have to run 2 of these instances, not 1. So hopefully we can generate enough, or maybe, I mean, potentially somebody thinks this is super useful to them and they want to kind of help us get this up and running and maybe sponsor it for a couple months. So we'd probably not say no to that as well, because there is like a non-insignificant amount of hosting costs that go into it. But one of these models for sure we're going to be running. If we can run both, that would be even better. But we're hoping that if we set up and essentially start selling, selling subscriptions, you guys can just pay with a credit card, get access to this, get an API key, plug it into Claude Code, and just use it that way, and stop paying for Anthropic subscription. And even if you guys are staking, if you want to support the project, that will help us if you guys throw in, pitch in like that as well, just to offset the hosting costs. So that's the plan for this. And the API is also going to integrate things like Unirig and RemBG and all the other stuff that we have as well. So yeah. So all that stuff we're gonna be adding. I see X has departed during my summary. So it really is every time at like 55 minutes it just X dies. I don't know what happens. I even saw the notification that OBS disconnected. So I mean, it's just lame that it just doesn't reconnect for whatever reason. So yeah, but that's the gist of what we're going to do. I'm super excited about it. Hopefully you guys are excited about it too. Make sure you join us on all the socials, follow us on X, join our Discord, hop on our Telegram. We've been starting to do slightly longer form than X on Telegram, so that's potentially worth reading as well. But all the technical stuff happens on Discord, so hop on Discord. We'll be happy to chat with you guys there. And I think that'll be all for today. keep you guys posted both on the Discord and on X. We'll let you know how it's going. But I expect us to find a couple ways to squeeze a lot more performance out of this. Still, like, it's already very performant, but I have a feeling we got another 10, 20, 30% potentially that we can squeeze out of this. And so that's what we're going to be doing the next couple days before we release the API to the public. So I'll leave it there, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.